Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Have you ever spent any time on a farm where you helped bring livestock into a corral or into a barn? It can be challenging. I have many memories from my childhood growing up with a little barn behind our house. My brother, who was older than me, would always raise a calf. And we had many experiences with trying to get that cow to come into the barn. There it needed to come in, to be fed, to be sheltered. But oh my goodness, there are so many times that we had the cow right up to the door, almost in. Oh, and it would swing its head around and turn back and stampede away. And we'd be left in this spot where we were starting all over again. It gives me a vivid picture of God's people when he was leading them out of slavery in Egypt to the promised land. And just when it's the time for them to come in and experience his blessing and receive that homeland that he had promised, they turned their head and they stampeded off. And it was like God was left starting all over again. In fact, God was ready to say, let's get rid of them and get a new group of people because this is just over the top. Sometimes, whenever we read the Bible, we read it as if it is something that is far removed from us. You may read the Bible and think, this happened so long ago and so far away that I don't know how to relate to all of this. But I want to tell you that the more that I've read the Bible over the years, the more that I've discovered that people are people, no matter where they are or how far away from where you are. People share so many things in common that it becomes easy to identify with people, even in different cultures and places. And when I read the Bible, I have found myself drawn more and more into the stories of these people, beginning to see myself in their story and able then to identify with them. And this makes it not only interesting, it allows the Bible to bring lessons of life to me. And these are lessons that are even better than Aesop's fables or some sort of novel or parable. This is where I begin to discover that the Bible is really the Word of God, because I find myself being drawn toward God as I identify with them and their story. I found myself beginning to be drawn toward the God that they are seeking to follow, to want to know him myself. And the Word of God begins to just draw me toward that relationship with him and begin to recognize, not only in the pages, but in my heart, that God is not just some distant memory, not just an old story, and not exclusive to this group of people, but is present, is real, is immediate, right here with you and me. And so I find the Word of God drawing me into this story and into this life and drawing me closer and closer in this relationship with God, where I want to know the Lord. I want to follow the Lord. Oh, and sometimes as I identify with these people, I see my own times of rebellion. Those times whenever I have been right there at the moment of opportunity for something good in my life, but rather than do something that was good for me, I turned and I ran away and I acted in rebellion because I was afraid. I was afraid it was going to hurt. I was afraid that I wouldn't like it. I was just afraid to trust. But I also see hope, because I see God who persists and continuing to reach out to people, even rebellious people, continuing to draw them in and draw me in as well. And so I want to encourage you today that as you're reading the Bible, begin to make those connections with people. Start to recognize those points of which you share the same kinds of experiences. Even if yours is in a different place, in a different time, and different events unfolding, there are common threads that we all experience. And then let it begin to draw you in as the Word of God. It's amazing how many times people have just read the Bible, no preacher, no teacher, just read the Bible and discovered a God who loves them, who is reaching out to them, and find themselves drawn to God, being willing to even confess their sin, turn their lives over to God, and have found this amazing turnaround where God has brought them in to the place where he has promised all along to love them, to care for them, and to bless them. May God bless you today, and as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.